Okay guys, we're going to take a ride today. Part of the ride is I'm going to kind of document the process of changing this EGR valve and try to notice the difference between the engine idle. So I'll use this after I get it replaced. But I'll show you the EGR here. So right now, with that EGR valve, the vacuum on it is broke. What happens is, this car runs rich. See this black soot right here? That black soot is this car burning too much fuel. And you can actually smell the gas. So here's another thing I'm going to be doing. This is a hole I had to cut in this hood, and yes, this is duct tape and it needs to come off. Going to be replacing, you can get a better look here. I'm going to be filling that, bondoing it. Anyway, this is an LS4 engine. So here, this is the EGR control module, and as you can see, this is a vacuum line. This line actually vents to a charcoal canister, I believe, tied in with the fuel rail system. It goes to the back. Right now it's just wide open. There's a vent here that controls the excess nitrogen in the engine. Well, the module actually controls it. There's a relay clip from the computer. But it takes the excess nitrogen from the engine, circulates some of it back into the engine to burn off. So the EGR valve itself, we can't actually see it. I don't know if I'm even going to be able to replace it. Way back there, the EGR valve is literally in back of the engine, and it is a pain in the ass to get through. So anyway, let's get in here. So, yeah, it's going to be a hell of a repair. Just the repair is so rough, just based on where the valve is. I'm going to need an extender on the socket, or on the wrench, the socket wrench. I think it's just 2 half-inch bolts, but it's a pain. Anyway, let's take a drive. Let me get my visor out of the way here. Use this to protect the dash. The dash has got a few cracks in it, but here's the car. This is my hot wired. That switch right there turns my fans on, and I have them wired to high speed. The fans are 2-speed fans. And then of course, everybody should have a fire missiles. If I need to fire missiles at the car in front of me because they don't know how to drive, we press this. Okay, let me see if I can get this thing hooked up here. I'm gonna have the camera all over the place for just a second. Bear with me. Let's see if I can set this up. So the car also has, it's vibrating. So ever since I tied the exhaust up nice and tight, there we go, the car is rattling. I don't know if you can hear that if you listen, if I shut my mouth. And I'm not exactly sure what it is, because the exhaust on this car, the dual exhaust, I have clamps on it, and they are hella tight. They are clamped so tight to the exhaust, and then there's a little L hook that goes up and it hooks into a rubber bracket. So I'm not exactly sure what that is that's causing that to vibrate, but that's something I got to figure out. All right, hope you can get a view there of the road. Anyway, I'm driving over to my girlfriend's place. She just bought a new house. I've got some more presents I'm dropping off for her. And I'm gonna check out her garage because I'm gonna be using that garage to do some of these repairs, thankfully. So I think this is a wide lens kind of camera. You can see I've got cracks in the window over here. I did this when I was trying to replace this driver's side wiper arm, the whole thing. I could not get it off, but I ended up cracking the damn windshield, and it's starting to get bigger, so I'm gonna have to replace this front windshield. And every estimate I've seen so far, it's gonna be between $500 and $700, which to me is absolutely, it's a ridiculous price. But I guess there's no way around that. That's something I cannot do myself, is replace the windshield. Anyway, right in front of us is part of Western New Mexico University over here. There's also I've got a sensor, a lot of cars do. It comes out of the top of the radiator, it's connected. It's a low coolant sensor, but that thing has been on for like 3 years. They just go bad, and the sensor needs to be replaced. I do have one ordered. You have to drain a little bit of the radiator fluid to do it, but I realized all I had to do was simply disconnect the electronic sensor from it, and the light goes away. That was really all that was bothering me. Like, the coolant is not low. The car does not leak coolant. But all I had to do was unclip the electrical harness, and that light goes away. And I actually did that earlier today, so I don't have to look at that light. I do not like service engine lights or any other kind of light on my gauges. And now I don't have to look at any of them because they're not there now. Anyway, this is a nice little drive. Unfortunately, we're going to be driving right into the sun. I don't know what the camera quality is going to be. This is a view of my little town here. I've had so much work done to this car the last several years. So much money has gone into it. And I'm going to try to slowly get it back to where it looks okay. I might even try to repaint it. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I mean, that's like the last thing I'll do is repaint it if I decide to sell it or something. So the only problem with this, it's like this thing that hooks onto your rear view mirror for the camera. The problem with it is I can't use the rear view mirror. So I can't, I mean, I've got my side mirrors obviously, but not quite the same. So, like I said, part of the reason I'm doing this trip and recording it is to get a sense of the slight difference in how the engine is going to sound. I've had the car for like 10 years, and it definitely sounds different than it did before, but I want to see if I can actually pick it up on camera. I mean, that is if I can get the damn EGR valve out and replaced. I've got to find a vacuum line. I think I could track it down by part number, but the vacuum line that comes from the pull side or from the push side of the EGR back into the engine is not there. So I don't know what happened to it, but I need that. I think I can just use like a standard type of hosing. I don't think it's anything special, but it does have to be like probably some kind of poly material, not rubber, because I think rubber might collapse under the vacuum. I don't know. The window's dirty as hell. Finally found some wiper blades that fit this car perfectly. Because of the shape of the window, it's hard to find the blades. Like the blades that they sell at these auto parts stores, yeah, they fit the car, but they don't actually, it's not a snug fit onto them. These blades are specially tapered for the windshield for this particular car. I'm going to put up the window because it's loud enough. It's going to be a little warm in here, but I'll survive. Anyway, it's Christmas Eve day for me. It's the 24th. I did take the car last night. I took it downtown to record the lights. But the problem is I took the car out too early. It was twilight, and it showed up. It looked like it was daytime because the camera, I just made everything so much brighter. So I'm going to wait till it's full on dark tonight and maybe go back down there. And if anybody's interested in seeing downtown Silver City, New Mexico with Christmas lights and everything, that will probably be out on Christmas Day. I'm actually not sure when this video is coming out, so. Nice little drive out here. Luckily it's not full on, you know, late afternoon, late evening, because we're pretty much heading directly west, and it's rough when that sun is just like right in your eye line. It's pretty rough. But you might get a good view of some of the low mountain ranges and stuff around here. The area that I live in, I think we're between 6,000 and 7,000 feet elevation above sea level. It's like high desert mountain, you know. Santa Fe, I think, is 8,000 feet, something like that. It's beautiful country out here, I think it is. I fell in love with the Southwest. The first time I went to California, I had a 96 Camaro, just an RS, the Rally Sport. I drove it from Virginia to California, and I remember coming through New Mexico and Arizona and I just fell in love with it. And then here I am, you know, I don't know how long ago was that? Almost 20 years ago. But I've been out here living. When I moved here to New Mexico, I was in Virginia again. Moved back to Virginia, but I lived in Albuquerque for about a year. Then I lived in Santa Fe for a few years, about a year and a half. And I've been here in Silver City, New Mexico, which I just picked off I picked a place on the map. And I got to be honest, I picked it because I thought the name of the town was cool. That's why I moved here. That sounds ridiculous, but you know, I was single and I didn't really have any possessions, and I don't know. I just like the idea of moving around and being free to be able to do that. But I've been here for like 4 or 5 years now, I think. There's always cops out here. The speed limit's only 55 through here. So I don't, like, I've got a high performance car, ride it super fast, got nitrous, blah, 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 but I just drive like a regular person. Every once in a while, I'll get on the car and open it up a little bit, but not so much these days because I've just had so many problems with it, you know? It's a 97, right? The car's fucking almost 30 years old. So, you know, I'm not trying to dog the car and burn even more gas, because this thing is pretty rough on gas, especially now that it's burning even more fuel. I mean, I think that's what's happening. I think it's, from everything I found online, it seems to be running rich, and a sign of that, according to what I read, is the black soot, or sometimes you'll get like a little black smoke out of one of your exhausts, or both. It could be other things as well, but I think that's what it is. Anyway, this little neighborhood here, well, it's kind of a big neighborhood. This was built by the mine, one of the mines. The Silver City, New Mexico is a mining town. And the mine built these homes, I think back in the 50s, for the miners, them and their families to live. I think I'm taking the next left here. This is only the third time I've been into the neighborhood here, so. But a lot of these back streets off this main street, they've got speed bumps, and my car scrapes on them. And I hate it, no matter how slow I go. They're just like death bumps. Anyway, she's up a few streets here. Cooperite, I think, is the name. All of the streets in this neighborhood are named after minerals. And here is her little place, right here on the left, and I'm gonna back in. I'm gonna pull over because I got a car behind me. Or do I? No, I don't have a car behind me. I thought I had a van behind me. Let's get pulled in here. I think I scrape here. Yes, I did. It's the bottom of the car. It's actually a piece. It's the, I think it's the catalytic converter. It scrapes. This car is pretty low to the ground. Let's turn off the fans. And let's pop this out. Alrighty, well, I am going to take some presents inside for my girlfriend before she gets home. I've got a few more things for her. And I might record the trip back. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is probably going to be included with the car repair series that I have. I think there's only 2 videos on the channel. SS Camaro versus Big E or something like that, I think it's called. Where I actually cut the hood I cut the hole in the hood, trying to get it open. I think there's another video too, but I can't remember what I was doing. But I'll probably add this to that playlist. Anyway, thanks for driving with me, you guys and gals. Take care. Happy holidays to you. Talk to you later. Peace. All right, guys. Just thought I'd record part of the trip back here. My non-shaky hand. Another thing, there's part of the mine over there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a couple of mines here in Silver City area. Anyway, I've got a little vibration in the steering wheel and it's pulling a little to the left, and the front tires need to be replaced. That's usually a sign. If you notice your steering wheel vibrating at highway speeds, or it may be pulling to one side, if you brake it pulls to one side, you should probably take a look at your front tires, check the tread. Pretty sure that can affect your car at higher speeds for sure. And the tread on the front tires, pretty low. It's not dangerous yet, but I do need to replace these within the next probably 3 to 4 months. Just another expense. And the size tires on this car, they're not cheap, that's for sure. Shoulder cam here. Is that working? To watch my speed coming through here. Anyway, I took a look at her garage. It's plenty big enough for me to work on the car. Plenty of space. So, looking forward to it. Probably do an oil change on the car as well. Run synthetic oil, lasts a lot longer. Anyway, I need like a side mount or something here. The front mount for the camera, well, I actually bought it separately. I mean, I didn't buy the camera, this was a gift. But you can't use your rear view mirror if you have this thing connected. We got a little view coming through here. Not really a view. Anyway, yeah, I had a small little red light right to the top left of the RPM gauge there. And I got so sick of seeing it. Like I said, all I did was just disconnect the electrical connections to it. Gone. I don't have to look at that anymore. Got some horrible dips right here. My car bottoms out if I don't go super slow. Drawback of this car, it's pretty low to the ground. Got a little park over here. They do a lot of festivals and stuff over here all the time, and they also have car shows here. Really nice older cars, like certified, registered, all that stuff. I've never actually been to one because it's, you know, it's a little too many people for me, but I wouldn't mind going someday. Got a little bit of a linkage problem too in my transmission. It's always had a hard shift into second gear. I don't know if that's part of the linkage problem, but the transmission needs to be looked at, and that's something I'm just kind of ignoring. I just hope it doesn't get worse. It's another one of the reasons I baby this car. But it's the transmission, it's aftermarket. It's got a Transco speed shifter in it. because the guy that used to own this car, he raced it in the quarter mile. He told me it was pretty damn fast. I mean, I don't know anything about racing. I don't know what's fast, but I think he said low 11s. I don't know really even what the 11 seconds something in the quarter mile. I don't know if that was bullshit or not, but I do know the car is fast as shit. But he changed. He did a lot of performance upgrades, better quality engine components, including the heads. I think this car has roller rockers on it. I think the valves. I could be wrong on that. He said, I'm not like a massive gearhead. But I know the push rods and all of that are high performance. It's got a high performance large camshaft in it, which is what gives the engine like the little lope. It's a lot easier to hear that lope when the car is just kind of sitting and idling. You ever heard like an actual hot rod, an older car with a giant camshaft? It almost sounds like the engine is, it has like this rhythm to it where it almost sounds like the RPMs are lower. That's the cam that you can hear in the car. You can hear this one a little. I've got all the information on it. He told me what, like what size the camshaft is, the lobes and all of that. I've since forgotten. Well, I mean, I haven't forgotten, but all that stuff is, I've got it in a text file, all that information. All right, well, that's it. That's the end of the drive. I'm not sure when exactly I'm going to be doing the repair. I need to do it sooner than later. Because I hate smelling the fuel. It's not like it's dangerous or anything, but it's not, the engine doesn't run the way it's supposed to. It's not as efficient. And you can't just, well, the Camaro forums for this car, the 4th gen Camaros, they say that you can just take the EGR valve off and block it out and just block it off. I'm not going to do that simply because I already have a replacement EGR valve. The question is whether I'm going to be able to actually get the damn thing off and do the repair, because it is, I think I showed you at the beginning of this video, it is in a place you can't even see what you're doing. I'm going to have to, not even kidding, I'm going to have to use my cell phone to record the screen and try to get my cell phone back there so I can look at the cell phone screen to see down, because it's all the way at the back and then it's down a little bit. So it's going to be a pain in the ass. And if it's, I'm going to give it the good old college try to do it myself. If it's too frustrating or I just don't have the tools to do it, I can't, if I'm not able to do it, I am going to pay somebody to do the repair, and it'll probably be the guy who's worked on this already, this younger guy, Mitchell. I mean, I hope he does the repair. He's got another guy working for him, but I don't think it would be super expensive. This guy has the tools, he could probably do this, honestly, in like an hour, I would assume. Providing like the nuts aren't rusted on the bolt. I'm sure that's the original EGR valve that's on the car, so almost 30 years old. But he'll hit it with some nut breaker, whatever the shit that's called, the penetrator. Just got XXX in here. Anyway, guys, the follow-up video to this, it'll either be one of two things. It'll be the EGR valve replacement or the beginning to that. But it also might be the hood. I've got some Bondo, I've got a sander, everything that I need to repair the hole that I put. I got to get that damn duct tape off. I cannot stand looking at it. But that's, if you're interested in why I had to cut a hole in the hood, there's a video on that. There was no way to get the hood open on these F-bodies. Well, this particular car. You can't go underneath. There's no grill. The car doesn't, it's not cooled through the front. It's cooled from the bottom. And I tried every effing thing I can. There's just no way to get to it. And so what happened, I went to release the hood one day, and the whole entire, there's a newer Camaro, there's like a metal cable that runs all the way to the front of your car to the latch. The whole thing pulled through. It actually disconnected at the latch at the front of the car. No way to get to it. I had to cut the damn hood open. So anyway, I put duct tape on it. It's been close to 2 years now, I think. That duct tape has been there the whole time, but it's starting to tatter and fall apart now. So see if I can get that done. I've only ever done one Bondo repair, but it was so many years ago. I was a teenager when I did it, but there's enough YouTube videos out there to where I think I could probably do what I need to do and get that thing patched up. And then I'm just going to put some silver primer on it. The car's silver anyway. So anyway, that's it from me, guys. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. I will see you soonish.